Today, I'd like to introduce you to PowerGP Banking version 2.0. Now, PowerGP Banking allows you to connect your Dynamics GP in the PowerGP Online Cloud to your bank accounts and your credit card accounts through your financial institutions. And all you need to do this are your online banking credentials. For bank accounts, you can connect to around 10,000 different financial institutions, easily download your transactions. We've created an auto match algorithm that will attempt to match your transactions from the bank to transactions you've already entered into Dynamics GP and allow you to quickly create new transactions in PowerGP Online for transactions that are on your bank but yet haven't been created inside of Dynamics GP. We also work with 10,000 financial institutions for credit cards. You can download those credit card transactions, quickly code each transaction to a GL account, and then we'll create an AP voucher in PowerGP Online. In version 2.0 of PowerGP Banking, we not only fixed a few bugs in the system and made some significant improvements to the user experience, we also added a really cool memory feature that tracks how you code transactions and then remembers them the next time a similar transaction appears. So the more you use PowerGP Banking, the less you have to use PowerGP Banking. It's really pretty cool. We also added a multi-match feature that allows you to connect, let's say you've got one deposit on your bank statement that really needs to be matched to 2 or 3 deposits inside of GP, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe you have 2 or 3 transactions on your bank statement that should map to 1 transaction in GP. Multi-match gives you the ability to do that right within PowerGP Banking. All right, so let's take a look at how PowerGP Banking works. Okay, here I am inside of Dynamics GP running in the PowerGP Online Cloud. Now I can tell really quickly that this is the PowerGP Online edition of Dynamics GP because we've added a PowerGP Online area page. I'm going to go ahead and click on this to access PowerGP Online Banking. Now let's say I wanted to set up a new financial institution. I'm going to come over into the Setup area for PowerGP Banking and choose Financial Institution Setup. Now this screen is going to show me which institutions I've already connected with, in this case, American Express and Wells Fargo. Now with both of these institutions, I've already entered my online banking credentials and established a secure connection. So if I want to add a new account, it's really as simple as just clicking the Add Accounts button, selecting which credit card I want to connect, and then I get a list of vendors that I could connect this credit card to. If I was adding a new account for Wells Fargo, I would be presented with a list of GP checkbooks that I could connect that bank account to. But let's say I want to connect to a new financial institution. To do that, I'm going to click Add Institution. Now this is going to take me to the list of the 10,000 institutions. We've got the most popular ones listed here first. Let's say I want to use Chase. I'm going to select them from the list, and then it's going to connect with Chase's authentication system. I'm going to enter my online banking credentials with Chase. Chase will validate my identity and then establish a secure connection with PowerGP Online Banking. Now, I've already got my institution set up, so I'm going to just exit out of here. And let's get started downloading. So I'm connected to my institutions. What I need to do now is download transactions from those institutions into PowerGP Banking. First, I'm going to select which institution I want to work with, and we're going to start with bank accounts, and after we run through that, we'll come back and do credit cards. So for now, I'm going to choose Wells Fargo. Now the system is going to remember when I last did my download, and it's only going to download transactions since that last download date, and it's not going to download duplicates. Because this is a demo, I'm going to go ahead and enter a date range. And then I'm going to click Download Transactions. This is going to get the transactions from my bank. Next, I'm going to filter this to Wells Fargo. And now I see a list of all the transactions that I've downloaded from Wells Fargo. I'm going to mark all the transactions and click download. This is going to copy these transactions into a staging table inside of PowerGP Banking where they can be compared to transactions that already exist in GP. Now to do that, I'm going to use my bank transaction matching window. Now this is really cool. I'm going to select my checkbook and I'm going to enter a statement date. And when I hit submit, this is going to create a bank reconciliation header record for me inside of Dynamics GP, because as we mark transactions as cleared in PowerGP Banking, they're also going to be marked as cleared inside of GP. As I scroll down here on the left, you can see I've got my transactions that have been downloaded from the bank, and on the right, I have my transactions from PowerGP. Now, if I wanted to, I could do a drag and drop and match the transactions. I could go through here one at a time, just dragging and dropping, but I kind of want to do this a little bit faster. So I'm going to unmatch these transactions, and I'm going to use our auto match algorithm instead. I click on auto match. The algorithm is going to analyze all the transactions on the left and all the transactions on the right and attempt to automatically connect the dots. Now, if we don't connect the dots correctly, you can always hit the little X and remove it from the auto match, but this looks pretty good. I feel like I've gotten my transactions matched, so I'm going to click Match Transactions and then come back to my main screen where I can now see the transactions that have been matched. Now, when I'm working in PowerGP Banking, I generally like to only look at the unmatched transactions because this gives me a clear indication of what else I need to do. Now on the right side, I can see I've got 3 transactions left that need to be matched. On the left side, I've got 3 transactions, but the dollar amounts don't seem quite right. I can see I've got a $50 and a $15. None of these match up to that, but there's a $25,000, and it kind of feels like these 3 transactions might add up to $25,000. Now, I could match this transaction to one of the transactions on my list and then go into GP and manually clear the transactions there, but I really want to connect the dots between all 4 of these transactions. So to do that, I'm going to use our new multi-match feature. This is going to allow me to connect one or more transactions on the left to one or more transactions on the right. So I'm going to select this $25,000 deposit over on the left, and then let's see, I've got my first one, there's $8,000, there's $15,000. All right, now I've got $25,000 on both sides. My difference is 0. I can match these transactions. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And now you can see that all of the transactions on the right have been matched. I still have 2 transactions over here on the left that I need to sort out. It looks like these may be some sort of banking fee. So I'm going to check mark both of them and click this Import into PowerGP button. Now this is going to open up the import window where I can import both transactions at the same time. They're both coming in as decrease adjustments. And I've already got account numbers assigned. Now this is an example of our memory feature. You see, I've already done a reconciliation where I had transactions with similar descriptions and amounts. So our memory feature is going to see that, and it's going to suggest these account numbers to code these transactions to. Now I could certainly override this and code it to a different account, but you know what? It got it right. So I'm just going to let it post to these accounts. So I'm going to hit the import button. Just like that, I've created 2 bank transactions inside of Dynamics GP. Nothing left on the left, nothing left on the right. Let's hop over to GP and see what we see. I'm going to go to the bank reconciliation window. We're going to open up our Wells Fargo account, and I've got my bank statement with me, so I'm going to type in my ending balance, and then I'm going to hit transactions. Get my list. Now, you'll notice as this window opens that every transaction on this list has been marked. That's because we did all the work in PowerGP Banking. At this point, I put in my ending balance. My difference is 0. I can literally go ahead and hit the reconcile button right now if I wanted to, but I'm not going to do that. I want to show you a couple more things. So first off, let's say that I notice this withdraw transaction here and I realize, you know what, this probably should not have been cleared. I'm going to unmark it. I also want to point out, I've got my two decrease adjustments here. These are the ones that we just imported from PowerGP Banking. See, my description came right over from PowerGP Banking. Uh, so right there in GP. Now I've unmarked this transaction. I'm going to say OK and save it. Let's pop back over into our matching window and refresh. And you'll notice that the transaction I just unmatched in GP is now also unmatched in PowerGP Banking. Oh, you know what? I did want to match these transactions, so I'll use our drag and drop feature to rematch them. And we'll pop back over into GP. Look at our transactions now. There we go. It's been remarked. I am clear to go ahead and hit the reconcile button. So you can see how much easier this is than taking out your red pen and marking transactions off on your bank statement, marking them off inside of GP. This is really, really, really easy. All right. Now let's take a look at how this works with credit cards. So just as we started with bank transactions, and downloading the transactions, we're going to download the transactions for American Express. I'm going to enter my date range because, again, this is a demo. In real life, I'm just going to download everything since the last time I downloaded. I hit the download button, select the credit card, and here is my list of transactions that I have to download. I'm going to hit mark all. I'm going to click download transactions. This will bring these transactions into our staging table where they are now ready to be coded and imported as credit card vouchers. So I'm going to click import credit card vouchers. I'm going to select my credit card, enter my date range again, and hit submit. All right, well, here we go. Here are the transactions that I have to code. Now, I haven't coded these before, so the memory feature isn't going to remember them. But once I code them, the next time the memory feature will remember them. So let's see, GitHub. That sounds like maybe dues and subscriptions. Or actually, you know what? GitHub, that would be software subscription. There we go. Let's grab that. Microsoft, that sounds like technology expense. Now, if I know the account number, I could just type it in. I don't have to do a search for the account description, but I kind of like using the account description. It just makes it really easy to find things. And Facebook, oh, that's got to be marketing. Whoop, I probably got to spell it correctly. There we go. So I've now coded these 5 transactions to these account numbers. Now I'm going to hit import into PowerGP. All right. Come back into GP, and I'm going to go up to my AP entry window. Do a lookup. There is my Amex vendor. That's my dollar amount. If I click on distributions, here are the distributions that I just coded. Notice it automatically brought in the AP account to offset them. If I expand this grid, I can see the descriptions that came right off my credit card statement. Man, this is done. I've now got my credit card imported, and I can post it and pay it all inside of Dynamics GP at this point. So that is a little bit about how PowerGP Banking works. Now, as we were designing PowerGP Online and PowerGP Banking, there were really 3 key pillars that we focused on. We wanted PowerGP Online to provide a unique modern cloud experience to Dynamics GP users. We knew it needed to be flexible, and of course, it had to be secure. So let's talk about unique for a minute. I just showed you PowerGP Banking. We also created a product called PowerGP Import. These are both ISV products that Ingevity created specifically for our PowerGP Online customers, so that when you bring your Dynamics GP into the PowerGP Online cloud, you do get a unique experience that you can't get anywhere else with these really cool applications that are only part of the PowerGP Online environment. Now, flexible. We wanted to simultaneously look to the past and the future. To the past, we wanted to support all the ISVs that have been created for Dynamics GP over the years. So we've got about 1,500 ISVs in our community, ISVs like E1 and Key to Act and McCorma that a lot of our Dynamics GP customers use. We wanted to make sure that PowerGP Online could support all of those ISVs, and it does. We also wanted to look to the future and make sure that we had a path that customers could use to connect with these new cloudy applications that have started to appear. These new single-use apps like Expensify for expense reports, or Timely for timesheets, or Power BI and Power Apps for analytics and custom business applications. We wanted to be able to integrate with those. So we also created an API that surrounds Dynamics GP inside of PowerGP Online that allows you to safely expose your Dynamics GP data to these cloud apps, both so that they can read data from GP and so they can securely write data back to GP. Now, this not only works with these cloud apps, it also works with Excel, so you can create live Excel reports on your local computer against data that's in the PowerGP Online cloud. Really, really cool. And finally, secure. We knew that we needed PowerGP Online to be the most secure cloud experience that Dynamics GP users could have. So we built it from the ground up on the Azure Identity Framework. Now, that gives us the ability to do a lot of things, two of which, number one, we can give our users the ability to self-service password reset. So when you have a user that can't remember their password, they don't have to contact support and have a password reset operation done. No, they can just click a link, securely reset their password with their identity being validated in the process, so that they are the only person in the world who knows what their password is. We also added the ability for you to add multi-factor authentication to your Dynamics GP experience in PowerGP Online, so you could level up your security profile. MFA allows you to require not just the user have something they know, which is to be their username and password, but something they have, which would be their mobile device or a telephone. So when they try to log into our remote desktop environment, they enter their username and password. They get a notification on their phone through the Microsoft Authenticator app. They authenticate to their phone and approve the login. What this does is it makes it almost impossible for a bad actor to obtain somebody's credentials off the dark web and then to be able to use those credentials to access the environment. Because while they might have the credentials, they certainly don't have that user's mobile device. So all of this is why we believe that PowerGP Online is the right path to the cloud for Dynamics GP customers. In addition to what you've just seen, you can get your Dynamics GP to the cloud without an expensive, time-consuming implementation project. We can get you to the cloud in days, not months, and you can bring with you all of your data, all your ISV solutions, all your functionality, all your business processes, all your integrations and reports. All of that comes with it. And you get some of the new cool stuff that we've added to Dynamics GP, like PowerGP Banking and PowerGP Import, as well as access to our world-class security and ransomware protection. Our mission at Ingevity is to improve the life and success of our partners and customers by providing exceptional business application experiences that simplify, inform, and delight. I hope you can tell by what we've done with PowerGP Online and PowerGP Banking that we really try to live our mission every day. Thank you so much for allowing me to introduce you to PowerGP Banking version 2.0. If you have any questions, please email us at sales@powergponline.com, visit our website, www.powergponline.com, or give us a call at 720-870-9700. Thank you very much, and have a great day.